What shall I do with you?
Master smirked, looking at the 4 prisoners he had with him. They were still all tied up like before.
Anything but eating us alive. Please.
Miguel, Sandra, and Alethea looked at him with a wary expression.
Are you trying to give him ideas?
We are not cannibals. So about that, you're fine.
He crossed his arms while Simon made a theatrical sigh.
Although I can say the same about some animals around here.
Master continued, tapping his finger on his arm. Miguel and the rest looked at him with the same wary expression. Master's followers whispered between them and laughed, making Alethea even madder.
So, have you thought about how to end us already?
Simon looked at the man with a tired but also scary expression, which made Master amused.
Oh, and you? Again, who do you think I am? The worst that can happen to you in my hands is selling out. I'm sorry that you are not worth enough for being my precious numbers, but you are too broken or too smartest.
He tilted his head, looking now at Simon, who smirked for a brief second.
Numbers?
Sandra was trying to make him talk, to get as much information as possible, even though she wasn't sure where she was. She could hear people in the long distance, which meant they were closer to the center than before.
It is what I call them.
Master pointed to his followers, who now stopped talking between each other.
They are not just mere merch now, they are more than that. But they are like me, so I don't give the name. You get it now?
You know, it's funny coming from a guy who tells others to call himself master.
The prisoners held their breath so they wouldn't laugh.
Well, actually, master is my name.
Now the 4 of them were laughing, making him angry.
I'm glad to see you enjoying yourself like that.
He glanced towards his followers and nodded. They nodded back, and 4 of them grabbed their pocket knives and walked towards the laughers. Each one of them grabbed one of the prisoners' index nails and pulled it off in a quick move, making them scream, except for Simon, who only arched his back with pain.
That was unnecessary. Great. Now you made this crazy shit become even crazier.
Oh, now that's new. A broken merch.
Master rubbed his chin, looking curiously to Simon, who was still laughing creepily with his face down. He leaned closer to see Simon's expression. Simon's eyes were unsteady and his mouth half open, making his drool hit the floor. The man made a disgusted face. Simon started to mumble incomprehensibly.
There's nothing you can do now. He snapped and he'll be like that for God knows how long.
Sandra sighed, trying to leave some space between her and Simon, since she was right beside him and he scared her. The man stood up, still visibly confused and disgusted.
Well, he's not even good for sailing anymore. Dispose him for sea.
Sandra, Miguel, and Alethea looked at Master surprised.
No. You can't dispose him. You're losing if you do. He's one of the smartest guys you'll ever know. He could be beneficial for you.
So can I dispose you instead?
The boss countered, tilting his head and folding his arms upon his chest once again. She hesitated and gulped.
I thought so. Even so, I don't like smart guys. He could manage to outsmart me, and I can't take any risks.
As Master finished talking, 4C, who was walking towards Simon, dropped dead on the floor. The boss stepped back and looked at the body. One of the knives he gave their followers was thrown on 3A's skull. He looked around, finally realizing his followers had also dropped dead on the floor with knife wounds.
You don't like smart guys, huh?
A female voice was heard behind him, and before he could turn, he was hit in the head with a kick, making him fall on the floor.
I don't like dumb guys, so I guess I'm safe to say we won't be stealing each other's partners.
Edath!
Alethea exclaimed with a smile. Miguel and Sandra also smiled with hope. In a brief second, some of their teammates who were with Edath appeared and joined them.
Shut up, you dumb bitch. I'm tired of you annoying everyone with your screams and spoiling stuff you shouldn't.
Edath scolded as she kicked Master's head as hard as she could.
You can fucking say our names to these oxygen waste beings. Well, but thanks to your screams, I could track you down easily. So yeah, thanks for that.
She scratched the back of her head with a knife's dull edge while looking at the man she just kicked.
It's okay, I just called because of him.
Alethea hesitated as she pointed her chin to Simon, too scared and emotionally hurt by Edath, rubbing her now untied wrists. Edath looked at Simon and ran towards him. His expression didn't change, neither his mumbles.
Fuck. Miguel, kill that boss bastard. How long has he snapped into this?
Probably 5 or 10 minutes? Around that.
Sandra replied, now sitting on her knees, facing Simon and Edath. In the background, they could hear Miguel insult and grin as he beat a barely conscious master until death. Edath was slapping gently Simon's face, trying to wake him up.
I don't know what happened or what might have triggered, but I usually don't let this go on for so long, so I'm not sure what to do. You guys go on and find Nail and Leah.
But we don't know where.
Here.
Edith handed over a device similar to a walkie-talkie to Sandra, who was nearer.
The sun comes from here, so they must be around there. Go on, don't waste any time. And leave Miguel here with me in case I need a hand.
Alright.
Sandra stood up, bringing Alethea and the rest with her. Edith sighed and held Simon's face on her hands, making him face her, even if his eyes were unsteady.
Simon, it's me, Edath. Snap out of it or I'll have to punch you in the face.
His eyes showed recognition, and he stopped his mumbles. Even if he didn't have any other reaction, she nodded.
Yes, Edath, that's me. The annoying girl who tried to kill you when you were younger ended up getting saved by you. Remember? Edath, yes. Come on, pal, stop playing around. Usually it doesn't take so long for you to get back to your usual self and begin to make jokes out of me, so...
Edith got interrupted by Simon's coughing blood. Her eyes opened wide. She began to look at him and then to his back. She didn't even see a wound that would justify the blood.
Were you drugged?
Simon nodded and opened his mouth once again. More blood coming out of his mouth. Edith's hands were shaking and her eyes tearing.
Fuck, Miguel!
He stopped playing around the already dead master and looked at her.
Help me out, carrying Simon back to our hideout.
Miguel nodded, but as soon as he got near and touched Simon, he bit his lip.
I don't think he's gonna make it back. He's so pale already and the blood he's coughing. We don't have any doctors around, you know.
Shit, I know that. I know, but I'm not letting him stay here. They'll be able to handle the rest, so let's just go back.
Miguel pressed his lips against each other and sighed, holding Simon in his arms, carrying him out. Simon was moaning with pain. Edith squeezed her hand tight around the knife she was holding, consumed by anger and hatred. She retreated with Miguel and Simon.